from Americana to Zydeco, and everything in between. This is the Extended Play Sessions.
Well, you know, Leftover Salmon, we've been calling it polyethnic Cajun slamgrass music for a long time. But, you know, as we've lost the accordion players over the years, we've become a little bit more of kind of a hopped-up bluegrass band. Wouldn't you say, Drew?
Yeah, it was very much like Spinal Tap. Accordion players, you know, were playing these gigs and looking right at him. You know, he's right there playing a big giant accordion, just poof, puff of smoke and gone. And so we had to readjust. And I think that we have maybe morphed a little bit into more of a rock and roll bluegrass calypso Cajun band.
Yeah, country band. But
country, Cajun.
From a few less countries than we used to be.
Well, it's a good day to do a little traveling. Well, it's a good time to get up and go. Get out your house, get on your planet. Check out the rocket wheel rolling on. Check out the wheel we're riding on. But sometimes a house can feel like a prison. You got too much to do, too much to pay. You're wondering why you can't find a reason. That's the time you gotta get away. That's the time you gotta get away. Sometimes a river, sometimes a rain. Sometimes it's the whistle of the evening train. Sometimes a mountain, sometimes a sea. They're gonna get you back to where you wanna be, and they'll get you back to who you wanna be. Well, you get caught up in that daily living. Ain't got no way now to take it slow. You better use the time you're given. You better find your place to do. Get out the door, now get up and go. Sometimes a river, sometimes a rain. Sometimes it's the whistle of the evening train. Sometimes a mountain, sometimes a sea. They're gonna get you back to where you wanna be, and they'll get you back to who you wanna be. Get out the door, let that sunshine warm your bones. Take a little walk out on the shore, 'cause it's a big wide world that we call home. It's a world of wonder that we call home. Sometimes a river, sometimes a rain. Sometimes it's the whistle of the evening train. Sometimes I see they're gonna get you back to where you wanna be, and they'll get you back to who you wanna be. Well, it's a good day to do a little traveling. It's a good time to get up and go. Yeah, it is.
Well, we have, you know, we came from bluegrass roots. You know, I was raised in Tennessee, and then moved to Colorado when I was a teenager, and was exposed to bands like Hot Rise and Stanley Brothers and Bill Monroe and Newgrass Revival, and played a lot of bluegrass and went to a lot of bluegrass festivals, and really was really imbued with a sense of, you know, the roots of bluegrass. And, you know, all of us were, Vince too, and Andy on banjo, and we just wanted to take it somewhere else. You know, it's not like we didn't want to play bluegrass. We just wanted to maybe make it a little more available to a wider audience. And so we introduced drums and some electric instruments, and you know, we just wanted people to get up and boogie to it. It was kind of our main motivation. So
Rewind to fast forward 23 years later, and Alwyn, at one of his first gigs, we played the Del Fest up in Cumberland, Maryland, and Alwyn came off the stage and had never been to a bluegrass festival before. When it was like, well, you know, so is there, you know, a place in town you go? What do you do at these things? You know, I was like, you've never been to a festival?
Never been to a festival. It was my first festival experience was Dale Fest.
the Aquatic Hitchhiker record, we did, some more co-writing than we usually do. But generally speaking, you come in with a pretty much a framework for the song, and then, you teach to the band, and then they, change everything about it and make it better, and you go on from there. But sometimes, you show up with something that works, But yeah, we definitely do the collaborative process, and all the songs that we play evolve over time of playing them. So this section may go all of a sudden to a reggae feel, because we accidentally run into it some night, and those sort of things happen with arrangements. So it doesn't necessarily come out sounding like the record.
It's definitely been interesting on a serious note, coming from a jazz background and having the opportunity to bring that music that I was raised on to a bluegrass, not necessarily traditional bluegrass setting, but it's a bluegrass following as well. So, and it's really interesting to realize that it's just music. There's no difference between jazz or bluegrass or rock. It's music, and your sound is always able to fit into that some way if you're willing to work with the other musicians. And it's been a great opportunity for me to work with other musicians from different backgrounds and to make it sound as one, which is fun.
Well, yeah, jazz definitely has a language. You have jazz standards, for instance, and you have bluegrass standards. And it's this whole culture that everybody, can get together and play this music without ever having played together before. It's exactly the same in both kinds of music. You get jazz musicians, and they'll come to a gig, and oh well, let's play Autumn Leaves, or let's play any number of jazz standards, and people that are entrenched in jazz know those songs. And same thing with bluegrass. You come to a jam session around a campfire late at night. Oh, let's play a little Maggie, or let's play Angeline the Baker, and everybody knows the same songs. And then you improvise within the framework of those tunes, just like jazz. Definitely very similar.
Mississippi South Lake, where the nights are hot and the river flows to the Bay St. Louis, so that anything goes. Way down in Mississippi by the Gulf of Mexico. Yeah, things a little different around here these days, since the storm and the spill drove all the people away.
When we first started this band, there wasn't necessarily a jam band movement. We didn't really know what a jam band was. We just jammed and had a good time. But there wasn't like this huge jam band movement. There was, the Grateful Dead had kind of just broken up, and there was Fish, and there was Panic, and there wasn't this huge movement that there is today with tons and tons of bands and festivals everywhere. It was kind of right at the beginnings of this whole thing.
And I think what it meant in the beginning, it wasn't a particular music style or anything. It was just that people with hair might show up at the gig. That's what we generally meant
And
by
patchouli.
jam band,
Lots of patchouli.
Yeah.
I climb a mountain, I'd sail the sea, I'd swim the hot tub, I'd climb a tree. Just to be wherever you be, I got to get back to you. Oh, Eliza, just to get back to you. Oh, Eliza, just to get back to you. Walk through the desert, baking the sun, dance on the fire, drink out the rum. I'll be back by the morning sun, you know I gotta get back to you. Oh, Eliza, just to 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 get back to you. In the hot tub, I climb a tree. Just to be wherever you be, I got to get back to you. Oh, Eliza, just 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 to get back to you.
You know, and we didn't know if we were going to get back together. There was really no plan. I mean, we just kind of stopped, and for a number of reasons. But you know, getting back together, and you know, our first real gig playing back together was at the Telluride Bluegrass Festival. And it wasn't even called Leftover Salmon. It was me and Vince and friends, and basically it turned out to be salmon. And then that summer, you know, we got several festivals, and we had a Red Rocks date, and just you know, we didn't get back on the bus right away. We just did like these bigger shows and festivals, and then we went home. And you know, it wasn't until really a couple years ago that we did our first real tour, just a short one up here in the Northeast, and that we were just kind of testing the waters if it felt right for us to be back on the road. And the last couple years, we've really gotten out on the bus and done a lot of touring, and it's just felt great. And you know, it was really refreshing to take the break, and because we were really hitting it hard, you know, for a long time, and it just felt like we just needed to stop and reassess and just chill for a little bit on the whole thing. And really coming back together, felt like, yeah, this is what we want to do. We just want to do it a little differently, and that's what we've had the opportunity to do.
Well, you know, a live show is a great thing. It's a great gathering. that we have available to us in our culture. Basically, I think you got church, athletic events, and music that bring us together anymore. That and election day. And, you know, I think music is my favorite of those. And I think it's a real value to a culture to have places where you can assemble and come with your friends and turn it up and experience joy in great numbers. And you know, all those things do that, you know. And so I guess I want people to feel like they left a football game at church by the time they leave. You know? Does that make sense?
Yeah, sure does. Definitely.
Definitely just want people to feel like they have something to feel connected to, and especially in my generation, the art of live music is, you know, it's questionable at times with technology being enhanced, but you just want people to come to a live show and see that people on stage are passionate about what they're doing and putting everything that they have into every show.
Nice. I like the generational aspect of that. That's something that kind of I forgot about, you know. But, you know, like we had DJ Logic sit in with us at a show in Denver, you know, using that technology in the context of a broader collaboration, you know, is a beautiful thing too, you know, and it's important to cross that bridge into younger people, you know, doing this music, you know. The tradition, you know, needs to be refueled every year, and we're seeing a lot of that going on. There's a lot of really young kids that are growing up going to music camps and things during the summer that are associated with festivals and things, and they're just, wow, there are some amazing young players coming up, and I think the tradition will do well in the years to come.